The Obama administration begins its overhaul of executive pay today, implementing rules proposed by Congress as it moves toward a regulatory reform plan next week. Our own Lizzie O'Leary is in Washington today covering the story for us. And Lizzie, it sounds like this is step one in a multi-step approach to changing executive pay.
Exactly, Scarlett. This is a multi-pronged initiative. First, what the administration's doing today is trying to square its own proposals on pay at firms that took TARP money with ones from Congress that were written into the stimulus package. Then at the same time, you've got the Fed working on rules for bank holding companies. And then there's the question of the Securities and Exchange Commission and implementing say-on-pay rules, giving shareholders more room here to sort of drive compensation. All of this is part of a clear drive, even for folks who've been opposing this, toward changing the way compensation works.
Restrictions on exec comp are in vogue, and that is the wave that is sweeping through Congress as well as other policymakers, and we can expect some by the end of the year, new restrictions on executive comp.
So what we're looking for is for the SEC and the Fed to be more involved and for the administration to name this special paymaster. D.C. lawyer Ken Feinberg, he ran the 9/11 Special Victims Compensation Fund. He looks like he'll be doing this with very little pay or perhaps none. And essentially the idea here is to have a public servant involved, trying to take out some of the politicization of this process. Now, all of this is part of really the rollout of a regulatory reform plan that will come, the administration says, sometime next week.
A centerpiece of sensible reforms will be to tie compensation to better measures of long-term investment and return and to adjust them to reflect the risk,
So some question of how the administration wants to do that. We'll get a little bit more today when Secretary Geithner meets with the SEC Chair Mary Shapiro and Fed Governor Dan Tarullo. Scarlett.
Lizzie O'Leary in Washington.